Warning, this is a review for the My Little Pony episode Simple Ways. It's part of the new 26. No audio, video, music from the episode was being used in the making of this video, seeing that they belong to Hasbro and DHX Studios. Sorry if I don't sound like a Southern belle, y'all, in this episode, or a classy sophisticrat. But please rate, favorite, like, and subscribe to go to Equestria for more. First off, before I begin this week's review, sorry for it being late. See, I got my Xbox One the week of Simple Ways, so I was simply enjoying my next gen experience on the One. And by the way, it's been it's been a blast. And if you want to see the Upload Studio in action, just view my Equestria Girls 2 Rainbow Rocks trailer reaction video to see what the Upload Studio can do. But on to last week's episode, Simple Ways. It was a Rarity Applejack episode. Not since Look Before You Sleep had we seen this pairing be the center point of an episode. So, here's your synopsis. Rarity is chosen to be the main creator for this year's Ponyville Festival to celebrate the founding of the town of Ponyville, which is a continuity reference, seeing that it goes back to Apple Appreciation Day. Rarity plans to turn Ponyville into a high-class elite societal party filled with all the trappings, which is a wonderful idea. An idea that she hopes will impress traveling writer Tenderhoof, who she has a crush on, a mad crush on. And this is really where the first problem of the episode arises. Spike has no real problem with this Tenderhoof guy and doesn't even get one bit jealous that Rarity's interested in this guy. On top of that goes throughout the episode as well. She has problems talking to Tenderhoof at first, something that Twilight actually forces the issue on. And Tenderhoof is impressed for one note character. But ultimately, when Tenderhoof gets the Sweet Apple Acres and lays eyes on Applejack, he's smitten for the country bound pony and tries to make it known. But Applejack ain't having none of that pimp game. But Rarity, being Rarity, I guess all the goodwill of Rarity Takes Manhattan is dissolved in this episode immediately, as she gets jealous over the fact that Tenderhoof cares more about AJ and her lifestyle, the country lifestyle, and even going further, the lifestyle of Earth ponies over high-class chic. And thus begins Rarity's desperate attempt to get this guy's attention. And she tries everything, from learning how to use a plow to dressing up country, and ultimately learning to have a speaking in a country voice. This really just proves how dang good Tabitha St. Germain is as a voice actor, and why, if Rarity was voiced by anybody else, this character would be an utter disaster. And speaking of utter disaster, watching this train wreck slowly go down the tracks is amusing and funny, but it's also quite disturbing how well Rarity is pulling off the Applejack trolling. Applejack knows exactly what to do and doesn't really care about Tenderhoop's advances. But she does know how to snap her friend out of this funk. So she pulls a character role reversal and becomes a high-class, well-dressed lady pony, which she actually looks kind of hot in this form. I won't lie to you. I like seeing Applejack more without her hat than with one. She's just a very well drawn and very well animated character. And seeing her actually break her southern stereotype and be something different, albeit it's another stereotype, is a big relief and a great thing to see. I'm hoping later this season or in season 5 that they do more character breaks for Applejack. The character trolling turns up to 11, even so much so that Rarity wants to jump in mud to try to get Tenderhoop's attention. A decision with disastrous consequences. If for Applejack's dress, who she actually borrowed from Rarity. When it gets mud on it, Rarity is kicked back into Rarity mode, and this is another continuity reference to Look Before You Sleep. Remember how she hated being in mud or getting mud all over Twilight's floor? Nice little side reference there. With Rarity kicked back into proper Rarity mode, the role reversal ends and the party goes off without a hitch. The moral of this episode, though, is one not only for kids to learn, but adults as well. Learning to really have interest in somebody romantically, no matter what culture they're into or how they present themselves. To accept people as they are, not as what you want them to be. It's kind of strange how Simple Ways does a very rare thing of tackling a romance in this series, and I wish they would do more. But the fact that Spike's pseudo-crush on Rarity is thrown off to the wayside for this one-shot character we may never see again is utterly terrible. Yes, the one-shot character did serve his absolute purpose. And plus, this also proves a law of girlfriends. It even applies in the pony world. You want the best way to cause girls to start fighting one another? Put a dude in between them, and then watch the train wreck. It even applies in magical worlds of ponies. But enough of my funny jokes. On a scale of 1 to 6, 1 being Mysterious Meridowell, and 6, quite frankly, being Lesson 0 / Pinkie Pride, I give it Simple Ways just simply a 3 out of possible 6. The concept and the role reversal are done absolutely beautifully, and the voice acting talent on display is in full display. Tenderhoof does his role as a one-shot character nicely, and the rest of the Harmony 6 are largely out of the way, keeping the focus where it needs to be. But the lack of Spike's own jealousy or any reference to that crush brings an otherwise beautiful concept down with it. And me being someone who used to live in the South, the Southern stereotypes are in full display, which is quite the negative, but it's acceptable. And the moral is great for children and adults. This episode is a big win. Is not necessarily the biggest win, not like Pinkie Pride, but it's a win nonetheless. So, until next time, Codequestrians, find peace in your own nirvana and remain as you are. You're perfect as is.